Good morning, children. We have already started Unit 2 in Infotech English. In that, first I have completed Jawaharlal Nehru's letter to his daughter Indira, which was there in the main reader, that is Infotech English reader. Consequently, I have started the non-detailed text also. In that, there is, in the second unit, we have a poem written by a Marathi author, Hira Bansade, and the title of the poem is Bosom Friend. Bosom means best friend. I need not explain you the meaning of the word. It's pale, companion, colleague, mate. Like that, there are so many meanings for the word if you want to express. Okay, so bosom friend. And this poem already we have completed to a large extent. Okay, I will give you a simple brief of what is already completed slide by slide. Right, and then we go to the remaining part of the poem. Right, so Hira Bansade was a Marathi woman poet who writes poems about the problems faced by the Dalits, about the problems faced by the Dalits and the problems faced by women, Dalits and women. Okay, with much difficulty she could be able to achieve a higher education and secure a job in the Indian Railways. She was from a Comble family. By caste, they are Mahars. Okay, and she experienced a lot of oppression in the society. Belongs to a low cadre caste in those days, and her poems reveal all the suffering she has faced both as a lady and as a woman belongs to a deprived class in the society. This is about a brief of the author. Then we go into the poem. What are the contributions of the author? This already we have discussed very clearly. She wrote so many poems and all the poems discuss about women problems and Dalit problems. In culmination, Dalit women problems. So she is a feminist author. She created a lot of Dalit literature. She was a Marathi poetess. Okay, and then she published 3 poems. And our lesson, Bosom Friend, is a part of the collection Fjord, a collection of poems which was published in the year 1984. She also runs a cultural association by name Samavadini. It's a social and cultural forum for the upliftment of women and empowering the women. Okay, she added a feminist slant to the Dalit poetry. This is a brief about her contributions. Okay, if we enter into the poem, already I have explained you the very important expressions and meanings which are used by Hira Bansade in her poem, and just have a glance at it. And we enter into the already completed part of the poem. This is stanza 1. And in the stanza 1, she describes about a situation where she was waiting for her friend. Her friend was a bosom friend, means a very, very best friend. She feels her friend was so best to her because that lady belongs to an upper caste. Forgetting all the social strata, she is visiting the house of our poetess, Hira Bansade, for a dinner. Eliminating all the inequalities in the society, she is coming to dine with the poetess. That is the occasion in the onset of the poem. Okay, we go to the next slide. And in the second stanza, she arranged everything very nicely for her friend, the supposed guest. Okay, she has not only treated her as a guest, she treated her friend as a god, and she felt that she is like Shabari. Shabari has got lot of devotion towards Lord Rama. Okay, that kind of devotion she has shown towards her bosom friend. She arranged everything, whatever that she could in the plate for her friend to dine. And she is waiting very eagerly. She is highly elated and in high spirits because personally, socially, they are avoiding the chasm in the society, a gulf in the society between the upper caste and the lower caste, and they want to unite it that day. Okay, and what happened in the next slide we will see. The friend has arrived. She is just about to accept the dinner offered by our poetess, and there was a smirk on her face. There was a smirk on her face. Smirk means a sarcastic laugh, teasing others, irritating others, insulting others. Why there was a smirk? As soon as she come, looking at the plate which is served for her to eat, she changed her facial expressions, looked in a very much insulting manner towards the poetess, and added to that, "Do you serve chutney koshambi in this way for me?" She questioned her friend. "Do you serve in this manner?" She questioned her friend. There is very much silent from the end of the poetess, looking at that kind of a sweet smile and the facial expressions of her friend. You don't know how to serve food. Truly you folk will never improve. These are the words. These two are the curses she has used towards the poetess. Curses. She blamed. Okay. You folk will never improve. Still you don't know how to serve food. Is it the manner to serve food in a plate? For me. She is telling, for me. Oh my, there is a gap here. Oh my, there is a gap here. She wanted to use maybe a very unparliamentary word, and she stopped her emotion. See how much superiority complex she was showing towards her friend. Okay, this is what happened in the third stanza, and we have already completed that. And what happened in the fourth stanza, you see? I was ashamed. Here the I was our poetess. Here Bansade. Look at the treatment given by her friend, the supposed guest. She was ashamed. Really ashamed. She is ashamed truly doubly. Really ashamed. My hand which had touched the sky. In the first stanza we have seen this expression, hand touching the sky. The hand touched the sky in the first stanza was knocked down. Suddenly she fell down from the sky to the earth. That much elation, and immediately fall down to the earth. With the facial expressions of gestures of her friend. Okay, I was kept silent. Here Bansade was telling, don't know how to react to that situation. It's totally unimaginary. She doesn't know what to do. Simply kept silent. Okay. Toward the end of the meal, you asked. Meanwhile, the friend started eating the meal with the chutney and koshambi. And again at the end of the meal, she asked, the friend, bosom friend, asked, you means here, the bosom friend, she asked, what's this? Don't you serve buttermilk or yogurt with the last course of meal? She is expecting some curd or buttermilk or yogurt in the last course of the meal. Okay, see how ridiculous manner she is asking, or rather demanding, yogurt or buttermilk at the last course of the meal. Okay, this is what happened in the fourth stanza. Let's see what happened in the fifth stanza also. Okay, she is going to explain her situation, her status to her bosom friend, her poetess. Slowly took all her nerves and started explaining about her situation to her friend. Oh my dear, we can't do without that. The friend is telling, oh my dear, we can't do without that. What is the dirt here? Yogurt or curd or buttermilk. The last bit of my courage fell away like a falling star. See, she is telling, Hira Bansad was telling, the last bit of my courage went away. She felt very sad and then numb, having no feelings, no response, like a statue, like a stone. Then, the next moment, I came back to life. Next moment, I came back to life to answer my friend's queries, to address the behavior of my friend, my awesome friend. I felt it's a best friend. Okay, a stone dropped in the water stirs up things on the bottom. So my memories swam up in my mind. And she started speaking. My dear friend, you ask about buttermilk or yogurt. You ask me about buttermilk or yogurt. How can I tell you? What can I tell you? How can I tell you and what can I tell you? You know about my situation, about my position. Buttermilk is a very costly thing. Curd or yogurt is very costly things they are. You know, in my childhood, I don't even have milk. There is no milk even for making tea in my childhood. You know that. And very much less yogurt or buttermilk. And of course, almost no buttermilk or yogurt. We have, that is the status. We are from very poor financial background. There was never buttermilk or yogurt. And there is very little milk now and then for making a tea and having a tea. And my mother cooked on sawdust she bought from the lumber yard. My mother used to bring sawdust which is collected from the lumber yard where she works. Using the sawdust, she prepares rotis, very coarse bread, not very smooth and polished Asirvad roti style. Very coarse chapatis they used to prepare in their house, and that also very rarely they have some garlic chutney to eat the rotis. Garlic chutney to eat the rotis. Majority of the time they crumble the roti in water, the coarse roti in water. They have it for their meal. That was the poor status of the friend. But the visitor, the host, the bosom friend couldn't understand the status of her friend and demanding for some kind of formalities which she couldn't. And she felt a lot of ashamed and hurt and wounded at heart. Okay? Here we have to start today's lesson actually. All the 6 stanzas what I have recapped now are completed. Okay? Dear friend, Srikhand was not even a word in our vocabulary. Srikhand was a sweet. Naturally, those people in Marathi, Maharashtra, used to have along with their meal. And another such sweets are also mentioned. They are basundi and halwa. The North Indians used to have sweets along with their meal. It's a part and parcel of their meal on the plate. But these are not like that. Our poetess status is not so rich. Okay? They don't know about Srikhand. Even the vocabulary, we are very unfamiliar with the word Srikhand. My nose never smelled the fragrance of ghee. No, Srikhand can be prepared only with ghee. Halwa can be prepared only with ghee. Basundi can be made only with ghee. But my nose never even smelled ghee. She is explaining in a humble manner about her status. And my tongue had never tasted halwa or basundi. Okay, that is my financial status. Okay. See, in the 7th stanza, how she is explaining about her situation. Bonsade tells her friend that she even didn't had a luck to use the word Srikhand, and her nose didn't had a luck of smelling the fragrance of ghee. her tongue couldn't taste halwa or parsley. This is the summary of the stanza 7. Okay. Bonsade's family was that much poor. Okay, Srikhand is an Indian sweet dish made of strained agar. It is one of the main desserts in Gujarati cuisine and Marathi cuisine. Maharashtrian meal, I have told you already. The Marathis, especially all the North Indians almost, used to have sweet along with their meal. Okay, that is the fate of this family, but how can she serve an yogurt or buttermilk or curd to her friend? Again she is explaining her fate to her friend in the last stanza. She is again explaining her fate to her friend with tears in her eyes, with a heavy heart. Right? Dear friend, you have not discarded your tradition. Its roots go deep in your mind. You have not discarded your tradition. What is the tradition? It's the tradition of maintaining inequalities, lower caste and upper caste. In the first stanza, Hira Bonsade feels that she is like the sky, very broad-minded. She erased all the inequalities in the society and visiting her house. But as soon as she visits the house, the bosom friend started showing her superiority complex, and without any hesitation, she hurted the other like anything. Okay. Now in the last stanza she is telling, you have not discarded your tradition. Okay, its roots go deep in your mind. Even you cannot discard because the roots are there in very deep in your mind. So you cannot remove the roots. Friend, there is yogurt on the last course of rice. Today, the arrangement of food on your plate was made properly after. Okay? I have created your plate. I served your plate very properly, in a nice manner. Whatever much I can do in that way, I will do everything. You are going to tell me what mistakes I made? She is asking. You are going to tell me what mistakes I made? Okay. Is it the way to talk about the mistakes of our friends? Can we do like that? No. If at all our friend makes any mistakes, we have to bear it. That is what friendship. Slowly, in a very empathetic manner, amicable manner, we can correct our friends. We can educate them and counsel them. But it's not the way. She again assuring in tears, are you going to tell me my mistakes? You are telling me my mistakes? Are you going to tell me my mistakes? The sentence repeated twice the line says how much she was hurted. That's the end of the poem. Okay? We'll see the summary of last stanza. Unlike poetess' first impression on her friend, now she is clear. She has not discarded her tradition of casteism. It's deep rooted in her mind. She emphasizes it thrice by saying true, true, true. In the poem she used the word true 3 times, means she is assuring and assuring. Yes. Poetess says, unlike before, now she could serve her buttermilk and yogurt. Still, she blames her only for the arrangements of the dishes on her plate. Poetess indicates the mistake her friend made and asks what mistake did the poetess do. Tell me what mistake I have done. She is asking her bosom friend. The poem Bosom Friend ends up with a pessimistic note that there will not be any friendship in Indian society devoid of the tradition of religion or caste. Devoiding of the tradition of religion or caste. It's not possible to erase the differences or boundaries created by the deep-rooted casteism in India. That was the pessimistic end of the poem. There is no positive end at all for this problem. It was an unending question even today in the society. Right? So, with this completing poem, we have completed both the lesson in the Infotech English textbook and the poem in your non-detailed science, society and individuals. Okay, so both the main texts are completed for you. I would like to give you a small exercise on these two lessons. Try to answer the questions given there. These are all the questions from Jawaharlal Nehru's letter to Indira. What Nehru say about Mahatma Gandhi is a very, very important concept in the letter. What does Nehru say about ordinary people? Mahatma Gandhi undoubtedly was the greatest leader of all times, and what normal people normally do according to Jawaharlal Nehru. These two you have to answer and summarize all the suggestions and ideas expressed by Jawaharlal Nehru in the letter, in the birthday letter. He explained the views expressed by Nehru in his letter to his daughter on her birthday. Here you can talk about the frankness, what is virtue, what is a vice, what can be done in secret, what can be done in privacy. These things can be explained in the first question answer. Okay. Then I will also give you some questions on the poem. These are the questions on the poem you have to answer. Okay. I have given the summary for each stanza in the video. Also you have your textbooks with you. Read the textbooks and try to answer these questions from Hira Bansade's Bosom Friend poem. And if you have any doubts, anytime you can contact me and express your doubts. Thank you children. Happy learning. Bye.